Recently, Dynamite Comics, the official page, has presented us with a new trailer where they explain a little better who the first aliens of Lognitrix will be. With this, they also try to confuse us, because there's a big debate about who the initial alien could be. In addition to this, they also introduce us to the first enemies that Ben will have to face, so it will be very interesting to see how all of this connects. We're less than a month away from the start of this great adventure. I recommend you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. With all that said, I'll be quiet for a month and then we'll begin. I mentioned to you that in the official trailer from Dynamite Comics, they tried to confuse us. Not in a bad way, obviously, but by making us ask the question, why? And I can tell you that in the first few seconds, we can see Ben trying to use the Lognitrix. This is his reaction when he sees it for the first time and doesn't know what to do. The dial is activated, and the only thing left is to trigger the transformation. Ben does it, but to our surprise, it's the incredible forearms. This is an amazing panel. It shows the brutal transformation that Ben is going to undergo. Tetraman DNA is emerging all over his body. Some small traces of human DNA still remain in him. It had been mentioned that actually the Lognitrix transformations only last a few seconds. All that epic cinematic sequence we usually see of the aliens transforming. It's purely visual for the viewer. Here, Ben still has his hand on the Lognitrix. In the next panel, we already have the incredible forearms. In the next panels, it's something we've already seen related to the Lognitrix, and that's its arrival. The meteorite falls so close to Ben that it sends him flying. Amid the confusion and seeing so many lights coming from that meteorite, Ben gets closer. After this, we can see a panel where the Lognitrix is already on Ben's wrist. Here, we can't be sure that this is the direct continuation of the scene we've already seen. It could be the Lognitrix finishing its configuration and attaching itself to Ben's DNA, or something that seems a bit more logical. And that's the dial open for a new transformation. There's no way to be sure about this since we still don't know how the Lognitrix works. The original one we've always known showed us this, not something pointing upwards. The Lognitrix from Alien Force did show us a kind of hologram, which could represent this scene quite well, but we still can't be sure about anything. The trailer highlights something very important, which is that this is a new origin for Ben Tennyson. And with these new secrets that we never would have imagined, and obviously a new Lognitrix. Let me remind you of something very important. The first 3 episodes will revolve around this. What is the Lognitrix and how does it work with the help of these new aliens? After this, we move on to another interesting panel where it's mentioned that there will be more aliens. Although these are actually Vilgax's bioids on his spaceship. Next we can see the image that had already been shown to us before, and it's the one of this bear. What's interesting about all this is the perspective they give us, since it's revealed that after the arrival of the bear, fire will come. With an incredible aura and an extremely brutal design, he will use all his powers to keep this creature away from him. I had never thought about it, but actually the bear is almost twice as big as fire. She's the mother of all bears. All of this will obviously cause problems, since after this, we can see how the forest starts to catch fire. The bear runs away after receiving that attack with almost half of its body burned. While transformed into fire, he simply tries to analyze what's happening. It's clear that he still isn't aware of the power he now wields. Also, seeing this design again in this way, my goodness, it's absolutely incredible. The Iron Man of fire. If you like this design as much as I do, let me know with a like right now. It's interesting to know that the arrival of fire happens almost halfway through Dynamite's video, which might make you think that this could happen later. But no, as we mentioned in previous videos with the information we gathered, this appearance of fire will happen after Ben gets lost in the forest. Presenting us with this epic scene, this channel is following the right way to read the comic before it happens. Since in the previous video we had already predicted that fire would appear fighting against this bear. Anyway, we will continue with the analysis. And it's quite important to know that Colonel Rawson and the military have a lot of heavy machinery. We know they're going to set up some kind of camp for the Brainiacs. A subscriber had mentioned to me that Phil could be among the Brainiacs. What I should tell you in advance is that the meeting between Colonel Rawson and Grandpa Max is definitely going to happen. In one of the images, you can see Grandpa Max being interrogated by Colonel Rawson. This man must think that a comet is coming from space. The fact that Grandpa Max is there can't be just a coincidence. That's why he'll try to get as much information as possible before letting him go. The next panel was one of the best, because it introduces us to Vilgax, the fearsome conqueror of worlds. The impact was so great that I uploaded it to the channel's community so you could share your opinions. Stay alert to the community and channel. I'll start uploading as things arrive. Many agreed this design is incredible and menacing. Others didn't, and I simply say, you can't say it doesn't look that menacing. It has muscles on top of muscles, a back like a Greek god, an outfit like a Spartan conqueror of universes, eyes that simply desire the reflection of destruction. That scar on his face shows he's a warrior who's had to go through 1,000 battles. This Vilgax isn't someone who's conquering worlds very easily. Imagine the respect Vilgax has earned from me, from my perspective, that I haven't even called him Squid, and this is the version that looks the most like one. No other version has dared to give him this incredible realism in what we could call his tentacles. We've already explained it before, but anyway. We're not going to see the same thing as in the previous series. We're going to see the cruelest and most realistic form of a conqueror of universes. I'm just reminding you that this comic will be written by Joe Casey, Joe Kelly, Duncan Rowley, and Stephen T. Seagal, the original Mayu action team. So we are guaranteed many amazing stories. Now, while Ben was lost in the forest, I noticed that the black line running across his shirt isn't in the middle. What we can see next is Vilgax inside his ship. And seeing this panel already colored is another level. Here we can see the bioids a bit better, which serve Vilgax, and his conqueror pose, which many people compared to Badell, and the little tiger from Invincible. Although personally, what came to my mind was that version of Kratos with the golden fleece. With the fire transformation, the Dynamite Comics video comes to an end. It's worth noting that fire seems to be confused. The forest must be burning. In one of the leaked images, we can see Ben lying on the ground with a trail flowing from him. Everything seems to indicate that this would be the end of his transformation. Ben is crying, maybe because he wasn't able to control all his powers and actions. This moment will be key, and hopefully Max has arrived to save Ben. I would lean toward Grandpa Max sacrificing himself with Ben, turning himself into the military, and letting his grandson go free, since it wouldn't be convenient for Ben to be captured by the military with the Omnitrix stuck to his wrist. That alone would be the end for Ben. It's a good time for Gwen to show up in the middle of the forest so they can solve this. Now, there's a part I can't quite fit into the story. And that's the arrival of Krabs. In cover number 2, this enemy had already been introduced to us, fighting against Cannonball in a burning forest. In the background, Grandpa Max and Gwen are next to the camper. I can't connect Krabs' arrival and the appearance of this alien at this moment. We have this incredible panel where they show us the arrival of an alien ship. Next, we can see that from this alien ship emerges a being with some kind of pincers. At first, I thought it could be Ben's alien transformation, but a subscriber mentioned to me that this seemed to be Krabs' claw. And yes, Krabs will not only arrive, but will also face the military. In this panel, we can see how he destroys these soldiers who were in his way. Krabs is an important and powerful alien among Ben's enemies. The military force is no match for this alien. That's why Ben and his Omnitrix will be needed to help. In the following image, we can see Cannonball running all over the forest. Very precisely. I really loved seeing Cannonball and those expressionless eyes. Wonderful. Seriously, that's how an alien should be. Some people still aren't used to this form, but remember, we're seeing the most realistic form of the aliens. This image could be key, showing Ben's arrival to the battle alongside Krabs. Ben might be trapped with Grandpa Max, but due to the arrival of this dangerous alien, Colonel Rossum would have no choice but to set him free so he can help defend them. Although I can't deny that I would love to see Four Arms destroy this crab. A perfect opportunity for the debut of these two aliens. And you? Who would you like to see in this battle? Cannonball or Four Arms? I'll read your answers in the comments. This new Ben 10 comic is awesome. We only have a few days left and you can see all the reviews on this channel. Just like a full review of the powers of the aliens in this game. Next week you'll have the video. I won't let you down. I've made almost 20 minutes for all the aliens, so you won't get bored. It'll be worth it. For my part, and with the company of these amazing people, I say goodbye. Remember, I'm Frio10mil, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. I was running out of saliva.